Alright everyone, welcome to English 1010 Lesson 6. We're covering pre-writing, first drafts, and clauses today. As we build on clauses, we're going to talk about fragments, run-ons, things that you can fix. I apologize ahead of time since I'm recording from home. There is a assistant with me right now who might disturb a few things. Alright, anyways. Looking at our PowerPoints, I'm trying out this new software, so hopefully it follows along. We're going to start off with pre-writing. You guys are already fairly familiar with the writing process. There are steps 1 through 4, which I'm covering pretty much in depth in this class, and then there's step 5, which is kind of implied. Step 5 is the publishing or turning in process after you've finished all of the different drafts that you have. Today we're really going to focus on steps 1 and 2 just a little bit, but step 1 mostly. We're going to cover pre-writing techniques, which are things that you can use to both develop and come up with an initial topic. Alright, the 5 main techniques of pre-writing are as follows. There's free writing, questioning, listing, clustering, and then there's a unique one at the very end. It's scratch outlining. Scratch outlining does not get used on its own, but scratch outlining gets used in conjunction with one of the other 4 up above. When I talk about free writing, here's a really good example. You're going to notice these are all pre-writing on the same topic. It's all from the same paper. Free writing can be used in a couple of different ways. First, there is to come up with a topic. If you haven't a topic yet and you're having difficulty coming up with something, maybe you have writer's block, free writing is really good. Have you guys ever had that point in time where, say, you're trying to fall asleep at night and all of a sudden when you're just about to fall asleep, your brain pops up and it's like, waha, here's something interesting for you to think about to distract you from falling asleep, and all of a sudden you're completely awake. Or if that hasn't happened to you, have you ever been in class and maybe started daydreaming and thinking about something completely random, not even related? That's essentially your brain misfiring because you're bored or you can't think of something, or you are not doing something active enough with your brain. Anyways, with free writing, you can kind of simulate that. What you do is you take a blank piece of paper, just a regular line piece of paper from your notebook, and you pick a word. It could be English, English comp, it could be your name, anything like that. And I want you to write that word and, start on the top line and write it over and over again and write it the same way every single time. Replicate it as much as you can. About halfway through your page, about halfway down where you hit that first hole, you're going to have that brain misfire. Something's going to pop into your head. When that thing pops into your head, go with it. Use that as your topic. Just keep writing. That's when we get into the second kind of free writing. Free writing after you've developed a topic. If you've already developed a topic when you're free writing, I just want you to use it to kind of spew everything out onto the page. When you spew everything out onto the page, it is literally just barfing up your brains. Everything you have to say about a topic goes right there on your page. I don't care about grammar, I don't care about spelling, I don't care about structure, anything. The entire point of this is just to get all of your information down so that you don't forget it and you have it available to you when you move on to write your paper. The next type of pre-writing, admittedly, is not my favorite one. It's probably my least favorite, but it's one that you'll notice if you ever come to me for help, I'm probably going to use because it's a lot easier to use when you're working with somebody else. This is questioning. This is very simple. It's when you ask who, what, when, where, why, and how about your topic. Or if you haven't developed a topic, like if you come to me, I'll ask you, okay, who do you care about most in the world? What do you do for fun? When did you make the decision to come back to college? Or where would you be if you could be anywhere in the world right now except for in the classroom? I'll ask you these kinds of questions, and those answers are the topics I'm going to tell you to run with, to go with in your paper. We see over here on the screen, if you look over on this side, you see questions. You see, okay, so why don't I like going to the movies? Or what annoys me most about going to the movies? You go further down and you're going to see when is going to the movie the problem, etc. You'll notice if you looked at both pages that it's writing about the movies. The thing about this is, for it to be an efficient type of pre-writing, you need to make sure that you don't just ask the questions, but you also answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, it's not going to do you any good. Alright, a common type of pre-writing that you're probably really familiar with already is listing. Listing is essentially free writing, but it's a little bit more organized. You're going to put each idea that you have on a separate line. And here we have a much more organized version of her pre-writing. We see, we see traffic is bad at my house. We see we don't like noisy patrons, and all kinds of stuff. The thing I really like about listing, not only is that it's a little bit more organized, it's that listing is a lot easier to turn into a scratch outline. What I typically do is I take different colored pens or pencils or highlighters, and I go through my list and I find all the things that are even kind of related to each other. So if we look at this slide right here, we notice there's a lot of stuff that has to do with food. So we can prepare healthy snacks at home. There are tubs of popcorn with butter, there are huge chocolate bars, candy is always my downfall, etc. So all of these things tie into a single topic, and that's the food at movie theaters. And so what I would take is a single color highlighter, and I would put all of those under the same color and know that when I'm writing my paragraphs, those are probably going to end up in the same paragraph. My favorite type of pre-writing is clustering. This is something you might have heard as a web diagram, as mind mapping. It's got all kinds of names, just like all of the other pre-writing that we're talking about today. It's got tons of different names. But this one I really like because it's more of a visual organizer. So you start in the middle with movie going. That's our main idea that we started out with. And then you're going to branch out with each topic that you can think of. So we go with temptations when we're talking about the food and the soda and everything. We talk about the noisy and annoying people. We talk about how crowded it is. The cool thing about this is it's a good way to visually organize which maybe point you have is more important. If we go back to our types of organization that we talked about, time and emphatic order, we look at this and we'd be like, okay, well, which one makes a little bit more sense? If we're making an argument that we don't want to go back to the theater, we might not just be telling a story, so time order doesn't really matter. What we really probably will be looking at is emphatic order. So we're going to go from the least important to the most important. The most important, of course, is going to be the thing that has the most for us to say. Moving on, what I want you guys to do is take a chance right now, just pause the recording and do some pre-writing practice. Honestly, just pick something that you know a lot about. Pick a really simple topic. You could pick nursing, you could pick your favorite food, or a place that you want to travel. Just pick any kind of topic. If you have trouble developing one, use either free writing or questioning, the two that I told you can use to develop a topic. Use those and spend 10 minutes or so writing everything you can possibly think about pertaining to that topic. And then go ahead and restart the recording and we'll move on. Okay, so scratch outlining, a little bit more about this. You probably learned this in high school. It might have been called something like linear outlining. Go ahead and take a look at this. Essentially, like when you learned it as linear outlining, it might have been, Roman numeral 1, intro, Roman numeral 2, something else. This is essentially taking all the ideas that you come up with in pre-writing and putting it in an easily handleable order. Once you put it in order, it's really simple to make your paper because all you have to do is turn everything into a full sentence. Just like pre-writing, though, outlining, I really don't care if you have good grammar or anything like that. This is really just for you. You're going to notice, though, in most of the assignments for class, I'm going to require that you turn in both your pre-writing and your outlining. Alright, so take the topic that you paused to write down a little bit ago. You spent about 10 minutes on it for pre-writing, and I want you to kind of turn it into a rough scratch outline. Honestly, I just want you to focus on one paragraph, though, not the whole essay. So that's what I've given you on the screen. It's kind of a single outline for a paragraph, not a whole essay. So you're going to write your subtopic and your main topic up on the top line. Then I want you to give kind of a preliminary topic sentence. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then list out all of your supporting information, all the supporting points that you have. Go ahead and pause the recording while you're doing that, and then go ahead and hit play whenever you're done. Alright, so I'm actually going to end this recording and start with another separate one for clauses so that they're a little bit easier for you to continue on with. So go ahead and head over to the next video whenever you have a chance, and we're going to cover clauses, and we're going to cover fragments, run-ons, etc. Alright, we'll see you next time.